Good morning. Happy Tuesday, Optimus. It is great and wonderful to see all of your smiley faces yet again. So today the market is kind of ripping. We did have the S&P Case Shiller Home Price Index pop up, as well as another Home Price Index report as well today. There's a third report, but I don't think it mattered that much. But the market's been ripping on that news on today's economic calendar. Currently, the S&P is battling 3850 as a resistance zone. Oh yeah, consumer confidence index came out at 7 a.m. So about 30 minutes ago, the consumer confidence index came out, and about an hour and a half ago, the S&P Case Shiller Home Price Index and the FHFA home price index came out. So that's what we're working with today. Um, and so far, market seems to be responding well to it. So let's go ahead. I actually haven't shared my screen yet, which means you guys probably don't even have any audio. There you go. You probably don't have music. We do now. Um, let's see here. Make sure I got everything I need open. All right. Okay, so let's get some charts up on the screen. Let's get this one here. There we go. All right, so I've taken 4 trades. One of them was an accidental trade, and I was up 500, and then I lost 500 on one single trade. So you can see we're back 3850, which we may tap. We're at 3849.25. We've got stacking the TTM still continuing, and you can see we've basically been ripping since about the open 6:15, a little before the open. We've been ripping. We pulled back here off of 48 down to 34. Here because I tried to short down to this level, so it was a little off in the timing. Right now we're getting this hammer candle near the top of the resistance zone, resistance being at that 3850 area, which we've not tapped yet, but I do think that we will tap it. We're getting a cool down candle on the TTM, and let's see what we're stacking at. 4.6 to 5.1 to 5.7, so about half a point to about 0.6 or so on each stack. You can pull back here to probably the 9 or the 12 EMA. Kind of a slow day in the market. I did trade some stocks earlier, and there just was very little movement, very little stock choose them. So not a lot to work with today. Be looking to scalp. I got this right now on a $2 scalp, but I think I'm going to drop to a $1 scalp. And just look for $1 in whatever direction that we're going. Might trade in the evaluation day if get some really obvious movement. Something like this would be really nice to trade in the eval. It's a 3-minute chart. Let's see what we got going on. We do have some like continued cooling on the 3, but it's not very much. Just slow today. This is a 5-minute chart here. We've been going since the open. Reasonable volume on the 5. We're getting a little bit of a cooling. Once again, it's not much. I would say that sentiment is likely more bullish on the day. getting a pretty pullback. Nothing yet necessarily to indicate a trend to the downside, though. Other than this resistance here at 3850 zone. Got a hammer candle forming there at 38.45. This has also acted as support a couple of times. Like I said, this pullback, even though we're getting this pullback on the TTM, it's very minimal. You can see we went from like 15.7 to 15.4 to 14.6, probably the most substantial move down to 13.5, so 0.9. Not enough for me to like consider it to be a trend reversal forming. Not yet. I have to wait a little bit. Right now, it's just kind of sideways at that 45 to 50 range. Woo! Woo! At 3 a.m. gym, man, it's kicking my butt. Just crawled out of bed. Terrible. I'm sorry to hear that. Someone's hitting me in Discord. Looks like a double top forming at 39.49. Says Art in our Discord group. You're not wrong. Kind of does look like that as well. I think it's a ways before we see the trend reversal, though, because you can see that we keep pulling back, and then every time we pull back, we kind of bounce off this 45 as support. You're not wrong on that double top, though, because you got over here the pretty large up wicks in the past. We had this sort of like ABCD pattern with this rejection at 49.5. But you can see as we pull back, we're getting these big like hammer candles with these down wicks, indicating that as this comes back down, this buying pressure is pushing this right back up. I kind of want to see it fail or rip. I don't really care which direction it goes. I just want to see it move with some momentum wherever it goes. Is looking more, though, like it's going to hold support and potentially break out. This is a pretty big move on the day. I mean, in all honesty, I mean, it's up about 1%. Close to. These yawns are driving me nuts. Basically, I've been getting up and going to the gym. So I've been getting up at like 3 a.m. For the last 2 weeks or so. And getting out to the gym, and then when I get there, I go pretty hard because I'm trying to actually like get through a lot of the workouts so that I can get back here to be able to trade in time, make sure there's time for showers, get my kid off to school and all that other type of stuff. And I think it is definitely taking a toll on my morning routine. Yeah, Tiny, this right here, we don't care what direction we trade. I think that is like super important. Just like getting that sort of in your head that it doesn't matter if the markets go up or the markets go down. We make money either way, provided that we are taking advantage of short opportunities as well as long opportunities, and being able to like have sort of an ambidextrous mindset when it comes down to it. I know that plenty of times I learned trading long because the vast majority of my accounts don't allow for shorting. So I often tend to have a long bias. Or if I do have a long bias, that long bias typically exists on days like today where we do have more bullish momentum or coming off of a trend reversal. So it really doesn't matter either way. But okay, so we did get a reasonable size pullback. Now we're bouncing off that 35. TTM cooled quite a bit on the 1 minute chart. Let's check against the 3. Three still continuing to cool. Went from 13.5 to 11.5. That's a pretty big one. And that was our most recent. I guess a pullback to about 34, 35. So I might actually go. I did not want to get in there. I was actually trying to get in at like 41 on a short, and I'm only looking for like a buck in the direction I'm trading. I did not mean to get it in that zone though, that spot. Moved on me. Do get a red candle forming on the TTM. I can see this pull back to maybe the 50 moving average, which would be within our range. Currently a flat on this trade. Only looking for 4 ticks. We tap B there for a second. Come on. I might just take 2 ticks. This is starting to annoy me. There we go. So 4 ticks to the downside, up 250 on the day. Again, this is my 5th trade of the day in the futures on paper. I've not traded in my evaluation yet. We did get this 1226, or I should say 2612, crossover to the downside. The 9 moving facing downward, as well as the 12 moving average facing downward. We may bounce off this 50, but because CTM is just now flipping red, there is potential that we could drop below this 50. Obviously, you can see it's popping back up above it, and it's within the Bollinger Band with these green dots here. That does offer some more bullish sentiment in terms of being able to bounce off the 50 as support. But right now, it's kind of in a in-between zone. So up 250 on the day, off 5 trades. Goes out to $50 a trade. We'll see if this continues to bounce out the 50. It's looking strong, frankly. I know TTM is kind of stacking red a little bit, but it's really not much necessarily in the red direction. It is the 0.8 move currently. But you see we got this doji hammer forming. I can see this ripping back up to 49s. In fact, I'm going to put this at 12 ticks, and kind of missed a little bit of that entry. Not too bad. Join the bid here. And now we're looking for a move up to 46.25. Got a possible crossover happening. Red on TTM went from -1.2 to -1.6, now -2.7. So actually gained some momentum to the downside there, which I don't like, considering that we just went long. Probably going to cut this here shortly if it doesn't bounce off that 50. Currently down 12 ticks in this trade. We're actually looking for 12 ticks up. It certainly added a lot of momentum to that downside. So it went from red 1.6 to red C5. Time on this candle is done. Okay, ended at the 35. From 2.5 to 3.3. So 0.8. Kind of want to see a yellow candle form on the TTM. Still holding in this trade here, but I'm really not sure about it. My confidence is like, I'm like 55% to the upside, 40% to the downside. So kind of have a mixed emotion about this particular trade here. So. From 2.5 to 3.1, 3.2, which is, what is that, 0.7? New candle forming in 3 seconds. From 2.5 to 3.4 to 3.8. 2.5 to 3.4 is 0.9. 0.5. Going to reduce the initial tension of this trade, putting up 2 ticks, but I think I'm actually going to need to cut this. $2.5 to 3.4 to 3.8, down 250-ish on the day. Time of the candle, new candle forming now. Here's that yellow candle on the ATM. Not below the 12. Down, down, down. From 3.8 to 4.0. TTM 3.8 to 3.7 now. Okay, we're getting that push up a little bit. I'll probably get out of this with this like 2 tick profit. There we go. So up 375. That was not a good trade in my opinion. I ended up holding through it because of the momentum beginning to shrink to the downside. So that indicated it's, a more of a reversal to the upside. But taking a look at this, we've kind of got like an ABCD pattern that happened here. Are we forming yet another ABCD? So, questions of the ages. Throw us up here. Short bias. That's what but yeah, it's very important to understand both sides. I try not to have a short or long bias, in all honesty. I do think that, the market is being propped up. There's no question in my mind about that. But they propped up the markets in 2006 and 2007 as well, before they eventually crashed in 2008. So, got a bit of a rip here. Let's wait for a pullback to like right there in that zone. Got the entry, looking for 12 tick rip to the upside, which means we're looking to get out at 46. Currently at 44. Jumping over to the evaluation at the moment. And $20 seconds left in this candle. $5 seconds left in this candle. All right, we got that 12 ticks there, up 1,125 on paper. Guess I should have taken the move in the evaluation. Looks like it would have played out. I didn't take it just because it kind of like petered out there at the top for a minute. And and then now it's continuing to rip. So a little bit of FOMO, but I'm not going to let it get to me. I would be expecting this now to pull back maybe to like 46, 46.50 or something like that, and then bounce off there. So let's see if we can get in at like 46.50, and I don't really want to go for 12 ticks because that puts us at the seeking the top. But we'll go for somewhere in between. Gonna go for more of a scalp on this. There we go. We got 2 ticks, so up 12.50 on the day. A little bit of a pullback here, nearing a cyan switch. Went from 2.3, we'll call it, to 1.3 to now 0.4. With this hammer candle forming, we may retest the highs now. We have the opportunity to do that here. Nice bounce off that 50 EMA, by the way. So off of 47 up to 48 seems like a reasonable scalp move. 2 seconds left in this candle. Just taking the 47 to 48 rip. Sometimes when I feel like it's going a little slow, it's kind of like challenging to jump in the trade. Like when it pauses like that, you see that like pause where it pauses for like 2-3 seconds, and you're just kind of like, well, what's going to happen, I know when I see that, I kind of look at it and I'm like, oh, wow, it paused for like 2-3 seconds. Does that mean everyone's just going to sell all at once? Because I've seen that happen like a million times where it'll pause at like, say, 49, and it'll pause there for like 3 seconds. And then all of a sudden it'll rip down to like 45 or something like that. So, so that's the part about it that honestly, like that's really where a lot of my fear comes from when it comes to trading, especially on futures. So right now we've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 green candles in a row and a new high up at 49.75. 38.50 is inbound, very close to it. But we had that consolidation period right in here, gave it an opportunity to kind of cool down, and for the volume weighted average price to come up. VWAP's now at 38.22, and we're currently sitting above it, almost $30. So I do think that this is going to pop up and hit 50 here any minute. We actually have a doji here at the top, but momentum went from yellow to 1.07 to 2.0 something. I'm going to join the bid right here for that rip through 50. Kind of a little bit of a riskier trade. Definitely don't want to go for 52. I'm going to go for 51. And we're in at 49. So I'm looking for basically 8 ticks. Join the bid here.
Order filled. Order filled.
Okay, so we made a little bit of money on that. We ended up taking a little bit of a loss because 4 out of 5 of our contracts actually filled. So 5 of our contracts filled on the buy, 4 filled on the sell, and then you can see right here that one of our contracts sold right there at a quarter, so 1 tick loss. So we had 4 contracts that we made 3 ticks on. So that's a nice move there. And then we had 1 contract that we lost a tick on. So this is in the eval. So that gave us a net profit of $115.70 on that trade right there in the evaluation. By the way, guys, if y'all hanging out, if y'all chilling, make sure that you guys like, subscribe, and ring the bell for notifications. Furthermore, if you guys are trying to earn funding in the futures market right now, or if that's something that you're even interested in, if you want $300,000 to trade with, whatever, whatever the case is, make sure that you guys check out Elite Trader Funding. Okay, Elite Trader Funding will allow you to earn funding all the way up to $300,000. Now, here's the thing. Here's the thing. Right now, is an absolutely incredible, crazy deal when you use my link and the promo code. You got to use that link and that promo code. That will give you 65% off for life, for life, for life, for any of the evaluations that you see here, with the exception of the fast track evaluations, because these are their own thing. So that means you can get up to $425 off on the 300K evaluation. You get $425 off for life. Every single month, you get $425 off. Now, personally, I'm doing the 50K evaluation, this guy here, which is competitively priced normally at his regular rate. But right now, with that 65% off, it brings it down to $57.75 for life. So you get over $100 off for life. I'm going to keep saying that because I like it. It allows you to take 8 positions of the E-mini or any of the other minis. Personally, I trade with 5, which is a lot of contracts. Profit target is only 3,000, gives you a drawdown of 2,000, so it gives you a lot to work with, especially for $57. You can't beat it. But this is a limited time offer. It expires in a couple of days, so you're going to want to take advantage of that before it's gone. So I wanted to bring that to your attention. If you guys are looking to earn funding in the futures market, there's just no better deal out there, and there's not going to be, as far as I can see, in the near future. Because I look at all the other different prop firms and see what they're doing, and I'm just not seeing anybody doing it like Elite Trader Funding. Plus, they actually have the customer service to back it up and real help along the way. So, pretty nice stuff there. Thanks so much for reading out the cyan numbers on the TTM squeeze. Is helping learn it better. Yeah. I personally, I actually judge the numbers on the TTM squeeze in order to actually take my trades. Like if I'm seeing it moved like at a factor like 1.0, 1.3 or something like that, there's a lot more likelihood that that momentum is going to build and actually move in the direction that we're looking at. So that stuff actually really does matter quite a bit. So we did hit 51.25, and that's where we took that trade. So we did take that rip through, up 115 in the evaluation on the day. So far in the eval total, we're down 370. So we definitely have more room to grow in the evaluation right now. I still haven't figured out what's up with the music and why I need to go and constantly check in on it, but it is what it is. Okay, on the 1 minute chart, we are getting some cooling off that 3850 resistance area that we talked about last times. On the 3 minute chart, though, you see we've actually come down pretty substantially through that consolidation zone. We started on the cooling at 20 on the 3 minute chart, and we've cooled all the way down to 5.7 on the blue. So potential trend reversal inbound at 8 o'clock. That's not a guarantee, especially with this new green dot form in here. So we could just pull back to around this 3840 level, bounce off it, and need a rip. But we do, if we're going to get a trend reversal, it's likely going to be at the top of the hour at 8 o'clock. Jumping on the 5 minute chart, seeing what we got going. 5 minutes also been cooling down, but I want you to look at this. Okay, so here was the momentum where it began to rip near the open. Okay, so it went from yellow zero point 0.8 to 1.4 cyan on that cyan switch to 4.0. So okay, so factor of what 2.6 to 6.2. So again, that's 2.2 jump, and then 7 to 1.3 jump to 10, so 2.5. So you can see it was jumping up by almost 2 points at a time, right? Now let's look at the pullback. So the pullback here, when it was at its peak, and you can see where the momentum stopped. By the way, by looking at the TTM numbers, okay, you see right here at this candle, it was at 25.3, and then the next one it was also at 25.3. Now we see those being the same. That means that momentum has kind of exited the building. And then you can see the next one went to 26.2. So again, not much build after we over here we were having like 2, 3 uh, momentum factors at a time. And then again to 26.7. So only half a point. When we actually started cooling, we went down to also 26.7. So very little movement there. But you see now we went to again 26.7, and then 24.7, and then 22.8, and then 21.8 to 28 to 18.8 to 16.7 on the current. So you see now we're dropping by a factor of 2 on that momentum. So to me, what that is translating, and then also to this 26 also moved above the 35. So taking a look at all those things, I could see a pullback to in this 26 here, potentially, which is like 38.30, and then consolidation off that zone. You can see right now we're consolidating around 38.40, which has been the sort of the consistent consolidation zone for the attempt at 38.50 run. I'm gonna throw in a support level there on that price level, and then we got the resistance there at the 38.50. So what? This one is right at 8 o'clock. So we're at the top of the hour. We're at 8:01. Let's look for 8:03, where it's actually had a little bit of time to continue to consolidate. Got a couple of people today, not nearly as good at numbers as yesterday in terms of viewership, but I appreciate everyone showing up here today. Really do. Means a lot to me. It's actually one of the things that keeps me going, and it's one of the things that actually makes me want to like show up each and every day. Is you guys showing up here. By the way, our Discord getting better and better. I want to thank you guys for getting active in there, talking to each other, asking questions, and about everything from profit and loss to how we track things to anything else along the way. I love communicating with you guys and answering those things, and so it's just really helpful when everybody talks. It just makes it easier, honestly. It makes and I'm being more active in that group as well. Obviously, it's our group, and I'm managing it. But I've been getting more active in there because when I first started that, I also had a lot going on the home level as well. Um, Completely rearranging everything and reorganizing my entire house. Um, and we're still doing that, but it's kind of died down for now. Um, so I've been able to have a little bit more time to hang out with you guys and talk stocks and trading and investing and entrepreneurship and everything else in between. All right, so went from on the 3 minute 15.7 to 14.9 to 14 to now at 12.7. Gonna take a quick short here, and I don't really want to go for that many ticks. Just going for ticks. like I said, probably be scalping a lot today, um, just because the movement is kind of a little minimal. Up almost 2 grand on the day in the simulator, and up 115 in the evaluation. And if you're wondering why I don't take every trade in the sim that I take in, or in the eval that I take in the sim, it's simply because not every trade is exactly um, sorry, a little distracted on the charts. The reason really has a lot to do with I'm still learning, and a lot of times I want to test my theories, and I want to test that stuff in the sim, not in my evaluation. In the evaluation, my focus is going to be on trades that I have a really strong confidence that it is going to go in the direction that I'm expecting it to go. And I try to do the same in the sim as well, but um, sometimes I like to attempt things as well. We bounce off that 26 on the 3 minute chart, and our momentum is actually slowing down on the TTM cool. Getting zoomed in here again. This is forming almost the exact same style that formed over here, where pull this EMA bounce. You can see we bounced yet again off the 50 EMA, and this is why I use the moving averages that I use, because there's a lot of people. Oh, look at that! Let me show my charts. Um, oh man, we got spam going on. There's gotta be an easier way to manage comments, man. It really is kind of a pain in the butt to manage comments, to be completely honest. I wish I just had like a separate like modal that I could just like put up on the side and manage. It'd be very helpful. Um, but we're getting a bounce off that EMA bounce there. Sorry, I'm pulling up the chat on YouTube side so that I can block these spammers. We'll get there. We'll get better at it. Yeah, I think that in all honesty, like I know that I need like I have a lot of skill to improve upon in terms of actually utilizing all of the tools available for streaming. I definitely have a lot of ways to go in terms of improving my streaming abilities. Uh, and hopefully we'll get there soon over the next couple of months. But it's a journey, like everything. I try not to force myself to know everything all at once, because I just find myself ending up in a bad position a lot of the time. All right, so jumping back up, we're coming back up and testing these highs. We did get the yellow on the dip rip off there, and that 50 EMA bounce. That 50 EMA is one of the strongest areas of support that there is on this very bullish day. Coming up to test these highs, looking like we might hit it. I really wish that I wasn't dealing with that comment spam, because I could have actually taken these trades. Unfortunately, people feel like that's a way that they can actually quote unquote market. But for somebody like me who actually spent years of my life in marketing, it's like it's just spammy and disgusting. So, all right. Got the entry at 38.49. Looking for a move now for a retest of highs. If not a making of a new high, since we got a brand new cyan switch here. Currently at 4 ticks. I don't like that this is hitting doji at the top. All right, there we go. Cyan switch is fresh, but it's brand new on this particular candle. So next candle will probably be our resolution candle. Currently up at 38.50. If we reject here, I'm going to cut immediately. 51. Hands over the cover. New high. Cutting it. Up 2,500 on the day. That would have been a very solid trade in the evaluation that I absolutely should have taken. Yeah. New highs now, 38.52. And we get this fresh cyan switch, so we're likely going to continue to rip a little bit here. So jump into the evaluation now, and this is going to be pretty volatile here. So I don't know if I want to trade it because I don't want to get stopped out on volatility and just ruin my account for no reason. So really, honestly, the entry would have been there off 38.50. But $4 up, 4 times 4, 16, 16 tick run. So that'd have been a lot of money right there. 12 ticks were 750. So, demo passed. No, unfortunately, it is not. I failed quite a few times. We're currently in one right now. So we're still working on it. It is what it is. Do our best. Unfortunately, what I actually think was one of the issues is that my trade style sometimes involves a lot of pullback, where I might be down 350 or 400 in a trade or something like that before it actually consolidates and reverses back up. And I was going with originally I was going with an evaluation that has a very low drawdown. So I swapped up and went to switch over to 50K. And since we've been in the 50K, we've been doing a lot better. By the way, guys, if you want to, I'm talking about the 50K evaluation here on League Trader Funding, but you can actually get all the way up to 300,000 in funding. And actually, this 300,000 is $425 off right now. If you use the link in my description and promo code JSBEST, that's JSBEST, and you can actually get up to 300K. Personally, I'm doing the 50K evaluation right now, which is only $57.75 right now if you use the link in the description, and that price is good for life. By the way, it allows you to trade 8 contracts in the mini and 80 micro with a profit target of $3,000. So pretty minimal profit target to hit, and I think it's something that is worth doing. Big pull back off this 38.54 level, up 2,500 on the day in the sim, and up evaluation $115. This definitely should have been an area that I was trading in the evaluation, not necessarily the sim. But again, we're dealing with that comment spam, and that always is a pain. Whenever you have to do that, because all it does is it just makes me take my mind off of trading and off of helping you guys, and makes me focus on dealing with some rando who hasn't learned how to market. So no offense, but my advice would be to take a class on marketing or something like that. YouTube is filled with definitely lots of resources to learn marketing, but it's not too challenging. Just have some class. Don't show up to somebody else's place, somebody else's house, and start posting advertisements and billboards inside of somebody else's house. So that's just how I see it. Getting this resistance here at 3850 with this doji at the bottom here, and that resistance off the 3855. My thought process is that this may pull back yet again to the 50. Um, will it go anywhere past this? The fact that that resistance at 3855 was so heavy um, makes me a little bit sketchy. It's kind of weird too that we had a doji at the top and then this doji at the bottom. Typically, when there's a doji at the top, you're usually going to see a pullback like this, and when you have a doji at the bottom, you're usually going to see a move upward. At least that's been my experience, just based off of past results and past experiences. Just gonna check in with you guys. How have you guys been doing? Oh my gosh, you! What is this freaking comment spam, dude? What is the strategy? The strategy I've been working mainly GTM strategy is one of the main things that I do utilize. So, oh, I just jumped over to the YouTube side, and it looks like you guys aren't actually seeing the spam. Gratefully, it looks like that stuff actually got filtered out. So, thank God, because it's not. It ain't pretty. What's this? VS code? I actually don't know what that is. Um, I've not heard of it before. So the strategy that we're looking at here is you can see these cyan candles down here at the bottom. She's getting a bounce. Um, that's what I was mentioning. Bounce off that doji at the bottom. 3-2 to 3-5 to 4-2. Okay, now the momentum is beginning to come in. So we went from 3-2 to 3-5, so not much momentum there. But now jumping to 4.0, so half a point of momentum. A little bit of a pullback on the candle there. Up 2,500 in the sim today, and up 115 in the evaluation. Yesterday we made $7,125 in the sim and almost 500 in the evaluation. Getting this bounce here. I don't really want to be at 12 ticks though, so I'm going to jump to 4 and take a little feeler here off this 52.75. Entry is 52.75. Looking to get out of 53.70. So we're looking for a little bit of a push up. I don't know that we're going to get that, so I'm just going to go for a single tick. Made 62.50 on that one. 5 contracts, 1/6 to the upside. After fees, let's calculate the fees for the day. So I've taken 12 trades, continuing to push. 60 contracts times 436, so $261.60 in fees, and our profit is $2,562.50. So grand total profit today of $2,300.90. So not a bad day on the day in the sim. And eval is looking good too, being up 115. But the movement, if you notice, the volume has died off. This is actually pretty important here. So the volume has died off pretty tremendously. Absolutely tremendous. The volume has died off a bit. It's dropped down to like 2,500 contracts per minute. It was like these where we're getting like 8,500, 7,500, 5,500, etc. So I don't like that the volume's dropped off a little bit. Got a cooling candle in between a cooling and a momentum candle on the TTM. So we're gonna hang back. We're gonna look for another momentum move. Right now, it's seeming as if the momentum to the upside is beginning to wane. So we may, in the next 15 minutes or so, potentially get a pullback. Let's measure this though against the 3-minute chart. 3-minute chart did cool off quite a bit. With a few cyan candles, but mainly moving into to the blues and the 5. 5 is still cooling, but not that much. Although this last 5-minute candle did drop 2 points. So you don't look bad on the 5-minute chart. That's why I measured against multiple time frames. Strategy against multiple frames is really valuable to be able to judge the momentum. Let's see. Using VS Code. Don't know what that is. TTM squeeze is lagging. How do you feel it helps with taking? How do you correctly use it to predict momentum? Okay, so first off, one key point I want to say about this comment: single indicator that exists in all of trading, for all of history, and all of mankind will be a lagging indicator. There's not really predictive indicators that I've ever personally been able to find ever. There is no indicator that is going to solve all your problems or make you necessarily there's just no perfect indicator. Now, having said that, the TTM is valuable in being able to measure momentum. And one of the things that it does very well is it measures the momentum of the current candle. That is a very important factor right there. It's measuring the current candle a lot of the time. So even though it is lagging, as all indicators are, moving averages, volume weighted average price, all that stuff is a lagging indicator. The TTM does allow you to measure the current momentum of the candle. So if we jump into this, let me show you exactly what I'm talking about here. You can see right here, right in this zone here, where it went into red and then switched back to yellow and then switched over to cyan. Okay, so right here in this little column, you'll see TTM squeeze and you'll see these numbers here. Right in this little square is where it's measuring the momentum, the actual number, a quantified value of the momentum that is measuring. And what we can do, hang on, music stop. What we can actually do is we can measure, like this one here is 0.15. Okay, negative 0.15 on a yellow candle. And as we switched over to the cyan, the momentum up and became 1.0759. So, or maybe that's 559. Sorry, visual impairment issue. So we can measure that we added roughly 1.0 of momentum on that candle. And when we switched to the next candle, we went from 1.0 to 2.0. So that's, again, a full point. And then we went to the next one and we went to 2.8. So you can see it went from 2.0 to 2.8. So it still went up, but now it went up at 0.8 instead of 1.0. So it went up slightly less with slightly less momentum. That allows us to predict and judge that the momentum may be beginning to cool and kind of die off. So even though this continues to stack, you can see now, so it went from 1.0 to 2.0. So that's a factor of 1. And then we went to 2.0. So now it's a factor of 0.8. Then we went to 3.4. So now it's a factor of 0.6. You can see how just doing those basic measurements that we could see that the momentum was actually cooling off here in this zone. So we could anticipate that this pullback was coming because the numbers were getting closer and closer together. They were getting slimmer and slimmer with each and every candle. Um, and if we go back and we take a look at the sort of the open here, where was this? This is like 45 minutes for the open. You could see the TTM had gone red and began to switch over to yellow, and it didn't really break out until the cyan switch happened. Now, one of the things to factor in here, you can see these red dots and you can see these green dots. These red dots indicate that it's gone outside the Bollinger Band, and this green dot indicates that it's stepped back into that Bollinger Band. So the green dots are typically the ones that we would be looking to go long with, and red dots are ones that we would be, if you're seeing this trend reversal here, uh, we would not be looking to short. We'd just be waiting essentially for a green dot and a cyan switch, or a green dot and a yellow candle switch, like this little rip right here. So that's what's up with that, and that's how we use the TTM to be able to judge momentum. And the other thing that's really cool is we can use the TTM on the 1 minute chart, the 3 minute chart, the 5 minute chart. You can actually use it on just about any time frame. We currently just made new highs, by the way. But I can utilize this by jumping to like the 3 minute chart. I can actually see that, and we talked about this exact move happening about 15 minutes ago. Actually, you can actually see that this whole area here, this momentum was declining and consolidating. And then we mentioned when right in, where was it? Right here, where this red candle is, that that the momentum was beginning to slow down on the 3 minute TTM. So that indicated to us that, we, unless we get a big momentum to the downside, more than likely we're going to consolidate and reverse back to the up. So that's how we can utilize the TTM in multiple time frames as well, to be able to utilize it in order to judge momentum to the up or the downside. I hope that's beneficial. I hope that's valuable. I hope that's helpful. Um, Checking tick in that chart. What is add-on and tick for? So a tick is just a movement of a futures trade. So we're not trading stocks here; we're trading futures, and so one tick is just 25 cents up or down on the ES. It could be measured differently on a different future. We currently like to trade the S&P 500 because I just find that it has really good movement, and it pays $12.50 per tick, so it's pretty well, or per contract per tick, I should say. Um, Add check the total stocks that are advancing and declining, and dollar tick is used for checking stocks that are being bought or sold. I don't know what that's about. I'm not going to pretend to be the expert. Price only leading indicator. I'm just catching up in the comments, guys. Order flows leading indicator. Let's see. Dom is the latest example because he said the didn't ask. Interesting. Yeah. Um, yeah. So I also use the Dom, by the way, on, you can see it right here on the evaluation. But on this side here, I mean, I don't know. It's beneficial-ish for measuring volume, but really, I would rather just use like bulls, bears, or something like that. Everybody's got their own style, and I think that's one thing that's really awesome about trading. It's just that everybody has a completely different perspective on it, and everybody sees the charts completely differently, which is so super cool. Because like I've talked to people who are just like, one of the things I learned in life is that two things can be true at the same time, even if they're opposing viewpoints. And I think that I have a friend of mine who is a trader who trades completely different than me. Absolutely completely different. Both him and I earn money, and we do it in completely different ways. And we earn about the same. And I think that the thing that's really fascinating is me just watching him trade. I'm like, I can never trade like that. Because it's a different style of trading. He takes a ton of different trades, back to back to back to back to back, that might make him, a couple of bucks each time. I take, 15 trades a day, 12 trades a day, or something like that, and I basically subscribe to the ideology of being, a momentum trader, if you will, where I'm looking for logical bounces off of levels that are confirmed, such as like this one here is 3840, and then taking that momentum to the upside and entering here, getting out here. So that's typically my trade style. On this 3 minute chart, you can see we actually switched. We did have the science switch. Our build looks like 2.6 to 2.8 to 3.1 to 3.8. So good build on that one. To 4.8, even better build on this one here. Getting a doji at the top though, and you guys know how we actually got 3 dojis in a row on the 3 minute chart, which is kind of weird. But you guys know how I feel about dojis at the top. And let's see. So at this particular zone, I'm going to be using less of the TTM, and the reason why is because we've kind of come up and bounced over and over again and rejected at this 38.55 level right now. And the other thing is that our volume has petered out. Our volume basically went down like 2,500 contracts, or 3,500 contracts in that area. So volume basically petered out. The 26 is moving closer to the 12 and further away from the 35. To me, this is saying that I do believe that we're going to have a trend reversal at some point in the near future, maybe the next 15 minutes or so, possibly 30. I could be wrong. It could just continue to hold all day. Uh, Clearly, the Case-Shiller index today, was reasonable news that the market, responded favorably to it. So I haven't read the report yet, so I don't know what's in it. But clearly, market has responded well to it today. More or less just waiting for this trend reversal. 1 minute chart, TTM has cooled off almost completely, likely to get a red candle soon, on the TTM. And you get these red dots forming as well. There's that pullback. This is the one that I was waiting for. Coming up on 8:30, which is the typical pullback time or typical trend reversal time. Basically, 7:30, 8, and 8:30. So we do have some additional factors working for us. The fact that the volume has died off, though, this is by far, one of the things that I personally really that makes it really challenging to trade. When the volume dies off, there's just not a lot of movement. Without that movement, it's very challenging to trade in either direction. Remember, guys, that we don't care if the market goes up. We don't care if the market goes down. We can short it if it goes down. We can buy it long if it goes up. We could care less. We do not care if it's up or down. We make money either way. I'm mean, hear you guys say that. We make money either way. Uh, 2006 chart. Let's see. Checking that on the comments again. Oh, it's level 2. See, I don't know what order flow is. Order flow is essentially the movement of the flow of stocks, the buys and sells. Often we just keep the time and sales up and measure it against that. There are some people who actually have like order flow modals. Um, Weeble actually offers an order flow modal, which is pretty dope. By the way, if you guys are interested in getting 6 free stocks, check out Weeble. There's a link in the description down at the bottom, and you'll get 6 free stocks when you sign up and fund your account with at least $100. What's up, Douglas? Great to see you here, man. How's today's green positions looking? Our green positions are looking good. Yeah, exactly. Up over 2,500. Oh, okay. So we actually, I'm gonna throw the chart back up here. So we pulled back and we actually ripped off this. Um, Continuing to make highs. So rejected that pullback. I'll never understand why this music thing's so pain in the big rip to the upside. Went from 52 to 56. So about was that 16 points, 16.6 to the up. 9 still above 12. Low volume. Might take a scalp off 55. Actually, I don't like that. I'm going to cut that move. 5 seconds left in this candle. Looks like the bounce off 55 would have been all right. 56 being the high of the day. We need volume, man. Because we're just getting like kind of like the bare minimum volume. It's difficult for me to trade when when there's such little movement. I know a lot of people like it. I personally I can't stand it. I want this to be like a crazy roller coaster, um, where where I'm just basically judging when the when the next rip and next fall is happening. Um, and we need volume for that. Really make a difference. Do I mean a footprint chart? Yeah, man, I don't know, dude. There's like 10,000 names for everything. So I don't know exactly if everything is was saying order flow indicator. Order flow is basically anything that uses volume, i.e. footprints. In all honesty, Douglas, I actually think futures is easier than stocks, dude. Frankly, man. Because I basically just need to like focus on a singular strategy. Like I don't even care about news. Um, Trading futures has been one of the best decisions made. Switching away from stocks, I still trade stocks. We traded today, um, and took 3 trades, all green today on stocks, but small wins. Uh, Frankly, I could care less about trading stocks anymore to a large extent. I basically just use it to build my retirement. Futures, on the other hand, like has really freed up my life uh, tremendously. Like the work-life balance of trading futures is just so much better for me than stocks. I don't need to follow all these individual companies are doing what they're doing, figuring out, like following their scandals and all that other crap. I can exit the news cycle to a very large extent, and everyone who wants to call me crazy for that, go ahead. I don't really care, because I'm trading the chart that's in front of me, and so more or less I can look at that and I can make that decision, make that judgment on that momentum or not. And seems like it's working out. I'm up 26,000 in the sim, in a week. Last Monday, we were 26,000 less than we are now. So a little over a week. So it's working for me, um, and you got fresh momentum happening here. 1.6, yeah. Okay. I'll try and take a quick scalp here at the top, which is way high, but just go for 2 ticks. But honestly, that's one of the main reasons why I love futures is because I don't need to follow all these individual companies. I barely even need to follow market news. Frankly, just take a look at the market calendar and see, like, is there an S&P Case Shiller index, home price index, CPI, or jobless claims, any of that stuff, which we have a lot of financial reports this week. But in all honesty, outside of that stuff, and even that, I just make myself flat for those positions. So I'm just like, okay, if the S&P, home Shiller case case Shiller index is dropping at 7 o'clock, I will be out of trades by 6:55, and then I just hang back, wait for that to happen, and then I can go back to trading. To me, it's just incredibly more work-life balance, um, when it comes to trading. So I actually just think for my own self, Douglas, that futures end up being way easier than trading stocks. Plus, more money trading futures. Um, and there's no PDT rule. Like, there's just so much more available to me, and it was kind of overwhelming to me at first. Um, Mainly because I had put years of training into trading stocks, and and that overwhelm kind of went away once I learned just some basics, and that after about, I don't know, a month of paper trading, futures was when I first started really trying to look at getting funding um, in a prop firm, and yeah, trading futures has just really changed my life. I'm grateful that I switched to it. I'm grateful that I decided to figure it out, because it really ended up being significantly less work. I was able to apply pretty much all of my trading knowledge from stocks over to futures. I really didn't have to learn even really much new strategies. Just needed to take my stock trading strategy and make a few tweaks to it, and it works for futures just as well. Actually works better with a very mild adjustment. So that's been my experience with futures. And I personally, I don't think I'll be going really back to stocks other than for just building my retirement and just taking a couple trades a week. Um, with stocks, I mean, since I had to wait for, I don't have a margin account, just straight cash. So I have to wait, like 2 business days for the cash to settle. Of course, I could like fund it with, a lot more money, and then like divide up that money and all that. But I don't really want to deal with any of that stuff. So I just use it to build my retirement account. And that's kind of all I do now when it comes to stocks. Um, Yeah, exactly. You got to do your watch list and everything like that. Uh, Ivan knows what's up. You got to do all this extra, like it's like how my wife put it is my wife was like, so with futures, you pretty much just jump in and start trading. Um, and then she was like, as opposed to stocks, where you have to do a school project every day. And I was like, dude, it's so true. It's so true. I gotta do a freaking school project every single day. When it comes to stocks. And like maybe something's moving, that's moving like kind of with momentum and other things like that, and then you like read the actual news on it, and it's like such and such stock files for bankruptcy, and it's like up like $10 a share, and you're like, well, I don't want to trade that thing. They file for bankruptcy. You know what I'm saying? So like it's just kind of like, yeah, I don't know. Um, so that's just kind of my thoughts on it, and I'm all futures like all the time now. And the other thing that's cool is like sometimes I trade in the middle of the night, and I like that because it's just all quiet and the movement is really like predictable in the middle of the night. Taking an entry here off of 58.75, looking for a move up to 59.75 to test that high. There we go. We got that. That was a quick $250. So up $2,937.50 off of 70 contracts traded. 70 divided by 5. What is that? It's 14. So 14 trades today in the sim. Up 2,937.50. So 70 divided by 5 to make sure I'm correct. Yeah, 14. And 2,937.50 divided by 14. Oops. So an average of 209. Pretty in line with our normal, which is usually around $200. We're a little bit more profitable per trade today than normal. We're usually at around 199, 200 or so slightly above that, but pretty on point with what we normally have. And then let's factor in our fees. Always really important to do that. So 305 in fees. So let's subtract our profit from there. So $2,632.30 in profit today in the sim. Again, this is the simulator for transparency purposes. And in the evaluation, we've only taken one trade today, which made us a profit of $115.70. And it was all the way back here, and it was really kind of wonky, but it worked. So we got this entry right here on the eval, and we filled at the very top or we actually sold two. Not in anything. I'm gonna take a look at this because the numbers are kind of wonky out here. So that one trade counted as 3 trades, just so you know. And it counted one of them as a loss because one of them was a loss of $12.50 plus fees, because it ended up filling later, because not everything filled at the exact same time. So 4 out of 5 were fine, and one of them was a L. So even though it was one trade, total profit was $150 before fees. Pretty decent day, especially for how low this volume is. Getting a little bit of a pop here, which may get another test of the highs. High at 59.75. There's not enough momentum to really judge on the TTM, so that's not really particularly helpful to us right now. And that's because of the volume being low. So once the volume gets to be about like 3,800 or 3,500 in that area, that's just when it becomes challenging to trade, in my opinion. You can see we kind of almost petered out. We're like slowly inching our way upward, up 1.3% in the total ES on the day, though. So not bad. And I almost look at that as being a market as a whole, really. By the way, if you guys are hanging out, chilling, make sure you like, subscribe, ring the bell for notifications. We do this live every day, every Monday through Friday, I should say, at 7:30 Pacific. That's 10:30 market time. And I saw some new faces in here today. So, thanks so much, Ivan, Jeff, or Hefe. I'm not sure how you say that. But thanks so much, y'all, for showing up and getting active in the comments. Douglas, always a pleasure to see you. Tiny, each and every day we see here. We love and appreciate you guys. So, I think it's super awesome just having you guys here. I love trading with you guys, hanging out and just chilling. By the way, guys, if you guys are looking to earn funding in the futures market, make sure that you check out the trading. Get 6% off right now for life, lifetime discount. You can use the link in my description. And personally, I think the 50K eval is one of the best in the market. For not much more, you can get the 75K eval, which actually allows you 10 contracts, profit target of 4,500. What does that actually come out to, though? Let's see. Oops. 185.35. So this is only $64.75 to get the 75K. So $7 more to go from 50 to 75K. So pretty awesome increase there, actually, for $7. So make sure you guys check out Elite Trader Funding. These guys are awesome. They have great customer service, and they're really easy to work with. And that's one thing I really look for in a company. Plus, they're blasting the market competition. They're just destroying them out of the water in terms of pricing and in overall support. So, let's see. We're still hitting these highs. Everything kind of petered out at the top here. Um, Momentum kind of died out too. You can see it's only going like 2.2 to 2.5 to 2.6. So I think now might be a pretty good, decent time to go ahead and shut it down for the day. I want to thank each and every one of you guys for being here, and make sure you guys join up in our Discord group. Say what up, and it's just joelstraight.com/Discord. There's also a link in the description. So if you want to get active in our community, we talk about futures, we talk about crypto, we talk about investing, we talk about trading strategies. We also talk about entrepreneurship. So a little bit different than what you might find in most trading groups, because we have a whole entrepreneurship side of things. I've been a digital entrepreneur for more than a decade, so well versed. So if you guys are looking to build your YouTube channel or any other type of thing, um, you know, this is the place to do it. So come hang with us. Um, but all right, Optimus, I'm gonna go ahead and shut it down there. Make sure you join our Optimistic Futures Discord group, and that's where we're helping everyone build an optimistic future and be a little bit more optimistic about your own future. So, all right, guys, I love and appreciate you. I'm gonna go ahead and jump off here. I'm gonna go spend some time with my wife. We'll probably play some Halo or something, and just kick it. So, all right, y'all. Love and appreciate you. Thanks so much. Peace out. We'll see you tomorrow. 7:30 Pacific, 10:30 market time. Same bat time, same bat channel. And much love and appreciation. Oh yeah, and we're ending up the day at close to 3,000, 2,937. We did actually hit that 3860, surprisingly. It was like, look how many wick tests this is. 1, 2, 3, 4. Uh, yeah, 5, 6. So yeah, I'm actually surprised that I actually hit it with that many. But it is slowly working its way up, but it's very slow. So ending the day up $2,937.50 before fees. After fees, it ended up being like 2,600, and then 115.70 net on the evaluation as well. Got a hammer candle forming near the top too, so honestly, this seems like pretty decent for an upward scalp. So, but I'm gonna go ahead and shut it down and go spend some time with the wife. So, thanks again, Optimus, and we'll see you tomorrow. You and our new peeps have a great rest of the day. Stay safe, stay green. I'm gonna throw this up here. She's perfect. She said, most of all, stay optimistic. Yes, even in the darkest days, and the light will appear. Absolutely, absolutely. All right, guys. Peace out. Love and appreciation.